Hey doers, my name is Victoria Undu, and I'm starting a new video series tagged Power Pillars. And today, specifically, I want to talk about the power of understanding times and seasons. I saw a quote somewhere that says that wisdom is knowing what time it is in your life and then aligning your steps with it. The truth is that life is a series of seasons. Each of these seasons in our lives carry unique opportunities, unique lessons, and responsibilities. I remember when I was pregnant and I just gave birth and I felt like I'm wasting my time. For somebody who is very energetic and trying to do one thing or the other, and then seeing other people achieve, and then you are carrying a baby and nurturing the baby, and sometimes you might feel stuck. But you need to calm down and understand each season of your life and what is required in that season. The challenge is that many of us are too distracted by where we wish we were to truly even understand where we are and make the very best of what we have at this time. It's just like trying to harvest in winter or trying to sow in summer. That's misalignment. And many times misaligned actions bring frustration because you're trying to do things outside the time it is supposed to come in. My husband said in one of the morning devotions that we had that some of the products, he saw a tech, because he's a tech guy, that some of the products that came in years ago, they were the right products. It's just that it came out the time before it was supposed to come out, right? And that's the problem with many people are facing today. So understanding times and season is not just about patience, it's about discernment, it's about knowing when to push, it's about knowing when to pause. It's knowing when to build and when to rest. I was having a conversation with my friend a few days back about how do you know you just are not doing enough, and that's why something is not working. Or how do you know that, oh, this is not supposed to work? There's a thin line between putting in effort and just being in that place of rest, knowing that you are not supposed to do this, right? Somebody said something one day that if you're hustling and you're putting in so much effort and there's no productivity in that thing you're doing, it means that that is not something you're supposed to be doing at that time. But how do we balance all of these things? And that's the place of discernment. It's about syncing your life to divine timing, moving in step with God's agenda for your life, knowing that even if this thing is not working, but you've discerned in your spirit that this is the time for it, and then you just need to press a bit more. But on the other hand, trying something and it's not working, but knowing that this is not the time and season for it, and resting, letting go. Many times what we are on is a hustle mission. We're supposed to let go, but we don't want to let go. Other times we know we're supposed to keep hitting the floor. You see, one of the greatest source of frustration is trying to force outcome in the wrong season. Like the example of the tech products my husband talked about in one of our morning devotion. Let's look at the people of Israel in the wilderness in Numbers chapter 14. When God instructed them to wait, they chose to advance, and the result was disaster. We can also see that Joseph waited 2 years of slavery and imprisonment until the right time came for his gift to open the door to Egypt's palace. And so sometimes you need to move, but sometimes you need to stay back, and that is understanding the times and seasons in your life. Transitions demand surrender. They are not just about moving from one phase to another, but learning what each phase requires of you. Every season calls for a version of you to emerge. Some season might call for a version of calmness. Some season will require a version of ruggedness, and missing that call can keep you stuck even when time is moving forward, right? And so to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. This verse, I think in Ecclesiastes, reminds us that every season has a purpose. When you rush a season, you miss the purpose. When you resist a season, you prolong the lesson. God operates in carriers. That's divine timing, not chronos, human timing. And so true alignment is when you trust God's timing over your life. And I'm going to be talking about 3 dimensions of seasons. Number 1, the preparation season. This is sort of like the backstage. It is hidden, quiet, and often feels uneventful. You're seeing other people, things are happening in their lives. They're getting all the opportunities, they're getting things, and it's like nothing really is happening. It's like the cave of Adullam where David went to. But this is a place where God is building the foundation for what is to come. Don't despise this season, because it's where your root needs to grow deep. And here are practical actions that you need to take in this season, because many people are saying, I'm in my waiting season. What are you doing? What are you doing while in your waiting season? Are you wasting your waiting season? So these are things you need to do. Ask ask yourself and ask God, what am I learning in this hidden season? What is the lesson in this season? And then focus on skill building, focus on character development, focus on spiritual depth. Don't just waste this waiting or preparation season. And the second part of season is performance season. This is where preparation meets opportunity. How do they used to say it? The spotlight now is on you. And it feels like everything is happening at once. You've been trying for years to do things, but at a particular season of your life, all the opportunities you've been praying for, yearning for, is happening. The jobs, the people, you are getting into events, into places that you've been dreaming of. This is where you say, I'm living my answered prayer, or how do we say it? But now, this season is calling for discipline, focus, and then your preparation is being tested. What did you learn in that point of preparation? This is where it's going to be exposed. The character that God was trying to teach you. Remember Moses? Moses did not really fully go through the preparation process season, because if he did, his anger issue wouldn't have stopped him from entering the promised land. The anger issue came out in the performance season, where he struck the word when he was not supposed to. And that's where a lot of people, when you get the things you've been praying for, the character you were supposed to deal with in your preparation season, that you did not deal with, it will now rear its ugly head. Pride will come out. Disobedience will come out. Anger. All the issues that will now take you back. Right? So here are practical actions to take in your performance season. Number one, set clear boundaries to avoid burnout, because many things happen at the same time and you can easily burn out. Number two, stay anchored. You need to find out what your anchor is, because performance is not about applause. It's not about people saying, hey, Victoria has arrived. Oh, Victoria is doing this and doing that. It's about stewardship. Now, the third season I'd like to talk about is the restorative season. Restorative season. Every cycle requires rest. Even Jesus withdrew from the crowd to recharge. Rest is not inactivity, it is intentional restoration. You can't keep pouring without a system for recharge, and that's what rest helps you to do. So from performance, you need to at every point in time come back to restoration. You host a master class, you host something, you do something big. Find time to sit back. I think one of my friends, Michelle, posted this on her Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is so true, because you can't keep pouring out without refilling. You need to find a time or a space or a system that helps you to actually restore whatever it is that you're performing at. So plan regular periods of rest, even in your busy season, especially for high achievers. Reflect on what the last season taught you and what you're currently doing, and then prepare for what's ahead. Now, the final part I'd like to talk about in this video is navigating transitions. Now, transition is where people get stuck because they either resist the discomfort of change, or they just want to remain where they are, right? However, transition is where growth happens. That's the bridge between seasons, and it requires a lot of faith. It also requires flexibility. These are key strategies for transition. Number one, discern the shift. I have talked about discernment in my introduction. Pay attention to the signs that a season is ending or a season is beginning. You need to be discerning. It could be a loss of something, an opportunity, a change in relationship, or internal restlessness. For me, I felt that shift recently this year, right? When I knew that I need to start using my voice and the wisdom he has given to me doing videos like this. It was not easy. But the more I kept postponing recording, I felt restless. And you need to discern that it's an opportunity for you to push. You would keep being uncomfortable until you do the things you're supposed to do at that level. And number two is release the old. You cannot step into a new season while clinging to the old one. It's the same thing when we're talking about relationship. You can't be pining for your ex and then you're looking forward to a new person. No, you need to let go of what no longer serves you. You're a human being, you're not a tree. It means you can evolve. Don't say, I used to do this thing before and people know me as that. But God is calling you to something else, and because of what has been happening in the past, you refuse to let go and evolve. Please, you're not a tree, you can move. And number three, prepare for the new. Ask God, what does this new season require of me? And align yourself accordingly. My one was very simple. Okay, I want to do more videos. Very easy. Go and buy, what do you call this thing? Ring lights, LED lights, do all of the things necessary. And this is just the fickle aspect now. Just go and ask God, what does this new season require of me? who do I need to become to fully step into this new season? So I need to call all of you right now to, sort of like reflect on your season. Identify your current season. Are you in the preparation season? Are you in performance season? Are you in restoration season? And sometimes the three seasons, could at some point intertwine. And then write down evidence that supports your answer. Don't just assume you are in preparation season. What's the evidence that's pointing to that? Number two, define your next step. What is God asking of you in this season? What should you stop doing? What should you start doing? And then number three, commit to transition. Write down 3 ways you will embrace the current season, even if it's uncomfortable, because many times when you're starting something new, it is definitely going to be uncomfortable. And summarily, I'd like to ask you these questions. What season are you in, and what is it teaching you? I'm re-emphasizing what I've said before. Are you trying to rush a season that is no longer necessary, or are you resisting the transition? How better can you align with God's timing for your life? I need to put your hand on your chest and just say this affirmation with me. I walk in divine timing with God. I walk in sync with divine timing, right? I embrace every season with wisdom and faith, knowing that God's purpose for my life will unfold perfectly. Just ending with this, seasons don't fight for attention. They will arrive when it's their time. I'm rooting for you.